Well, okay, we're going to look at some stats on underlying health problems and statistics, which is quite hard to find, I might say. It took me, well, I'd say hours and hours to try to find these informations about, people that have died from the coronavirus. And I think this should be discussed. I know the mainstream media won't discuss it, because they have an agenda. They're funded by people that have an agenda. Everybody wants to make money. That's the thing, and there's other things as well involved, but I'll not go into that. But one of the stats here,
Only 9% of people had no underlying health problem. That's official national stats.
as you've seen on the other video, that's in the UK. So that's similar stats to the CDC have released in America, which they released 6%. So, and one of the biggest stats you can see here is probably around dementia and stuff, and heart problems,
14% of people for heart disease and 14% for dementia.
These are people in nursing homes usually. People with dementia, they're not well, and some of them can't be fed. They can't feed themselves, and sometimes I had an uncle recently that died of dementia in a nursing home. And basically at the end, he won't feed himself, and then, the carers don't feed them as well. So they end up dying of starvation. And that's what a lot of people in dementia actually end up dying from, is starvation. So it's sad, but these stats are put into the coronavirus, so
14%, that's pretty high.
I'm not actually looking at the stats at the minute, but I remember that was quite alarming for me to see.
So only 9% of people didn't have underlying health problems.
To be hit by buses or stuff, some of them, yes, because 28 days after diagnosing of coronavirus, if you die, remember that they have it, everything's out there for people to see. They have it in plain sight. The reason for this is liability. They're covering their own tracks. You put it in front of people, said, oh, it was there, you'd never seen that. People were too feared and too concerned about other things, like, well, I don't want to get the coronavirus. But they don't look at the wee stats. It's not nice being lied to. It's not nice being duped and trying to be pressurized into taking a vaccine. Take your liberties away from you. Freedom of speech is gone. Take your livelihood away from you. You cannot go out, lockdowns. I'm surprised more people are not in uproar, because of the fear. These elitists, they wish they thought of this a lot sooner, because they've been trying for a long time to push their agendas, and this is the perfect time, as you said. As someone commented on another video, The Great Reset by Iman Klaas. It's a great book, and it's all out there for people to read what their agenda is. And this guy is a multi-billionaire, and he has ties with a lot of leaders around the world, which is very concerning. So one of the comments in the Great Reset is in 2030 is the date that they want to get this all done by. So 2030, everybody will own nothing and they'll be happy. That is a saying. I'll try to get the link in, but I won't put it in now. But this is actually what he's saying. And what does he mean by this? Well, he basically means by 2030, everybody will be stripped of everything, and you'll be working through probably an ID system. You have to get your vaccines, you have to get your brain. They can control you very easily with this system, which is quite alarming. So, we will own nothing by 2030. That's nice, and we'll be happy. And there'll be no freedom with cameras or surveillance everywhere, so you won't be free. You'll be watched. To me, that sounds like a bit of a nightmare world, but the World Economic Forum is a spin-off of the Great Reset. It's part of the one and the same. A lot of the world leaders are in the Economic Forum. And how can they get it? He even says in the book, coronavirus will be the nice tool to help us bring along this new way of living. So that's nice. So what do we have here? We have a lot of the main European guys and government ministers and prime ministers involved in the Economic Forum. That is quite alarming, like, you know, considering it is an organization that makes a lot of money. They said over $5 billion, and that's probably officially, unofficially, probably a lot more. You know, they have a lot of members, you know, Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. That's all great stuff, you know. They're all great people, which is good. Now, back to the main problem we have is the vaccines that's coming through. We have like 1 million people, so they say, have already took the vaccine. That's over the Christmas period, which I don't think a lot of people would have been out, considering you're not supposed to be out. But it's fine. We can all go out and get our vaccine. And isn't it a lovely vaccine? A very well tested vaccine with lots of animal testing over a 4-year, like most other vaccine, time frame. Yeah, and it's 100% safe. That's unbelievable. There's never been a vaccine out there that's been 100% safe. But now, this one's 100% safe. How can you tell? I'm sure Pfizer would have done the testing 100% legit. They wouldn't doctor anything or, you know, do anything wrong. Considering they had to pay out $4.3 billion in vaccine damages and drug damages over the years, which is very hard to actually get vaccine damages because most of us already know that they've waived the rights for the company to be sued, which is alarming. What organization could get away with that? People can't get away with that. Like an ordinary person, like an electrician or a carpenter or even a mechanic. If you don't take responsibility for your product, then you can take shortcuts, you can just push it out even though you know it's not safe, and you're not going to get sued. So there's no responsibility. Okay, so that's great. We need to turn off them TVs and start listening to reason and common sense and look for other information, because a lot of information is out there. You know, they even tell you it from their own resources, so that information is there. The media will only push one thing, and that is fear. And it's not good to be in fear all the time. It's bad for your immune system. So turn off your TVs and switch away from them bad organizations. I'll see you later. Bye-bye.